Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you have done exercise 6.1 on your assignment sheets. The topic today is factorization. First of all, it is necessary to understand what is factorization. So, let's have a look on the definition. It is the process of writing an expression as a product of two or more expressions. What is the meaning of this sentence? If I consider a very simple example, for example, 10 can be written as 2 multiplied by 5. So you can see 10, a number, can be written as the product of two numbers 2 and 5. So the process is called factorization, and these two numbers 2 and 5 are called the factors of 10. So as far as algebra is concerned, we move on to algebraic expressions. So let's consider a very simple example. A square plus 2ab plus b square. You are very much familiar of this formula, which is equal to a plus b whole square. Now this a plus b whole square can be written as a plus b multiplied by a plus b. So this process is known as factorization, and this a plus b and a plus b, two times, are the factors of this expression a square plus 2ab plus b square. So dear students, now onwards we are going to do factorization of some algebraic expressions by using some techniques and formulae. So next exercise 6.2 is based on the basic rule of factorization. Now what is that? That is type 1. Look at this expression, Ka plus Kb plus Kc is equal to K into A plus B plus C. How will you get the right hand side? By taking K common from each term. Look at the expression on the left hand side. It is having three terms, Ka and Kb and Kc, and this K is common in the three terms. By taking K common, inside the bracket A plus B plus C is left. This is called distributive property of multiplication over addition. So students, basic rule of factorization is taking common if there exists any common factor in the terms. So when you will start doing factorization by using any of the formula, you have to check whether there is something common or not. Exercise 6.2 is related to type 1. The question is factorize the following. Question number 1 is 3x minus 9y. Now what is the process of taking common? Look at the first term, 3x. 3x can be written as 3 multiplied by x. Second term is 9y. It can be written as a product like 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by y. As you can see, in 3x and 9y, this 3 is common. So when you take out this 3 as a common factor inside the bracket, you will get x over here and 3y over here. So after taking 3 as a common factor, you will get x minus 3y inside the bracket. Now question number 4 is 3m cube np minus 6m square n. Moving on the same lines, 3m cube np can be written as 3 into, as it is m cube, so m into m into m into n into p. Again, 6m square n can be completely factorized as 3 into 2 into m into m into n. And you can have a close look. 3 m, m and n, that is 3m square n is common, and you will be left in the first term m, p, and in the second term only 2. So after taking 3m square n common, you will get mp minus 2. Considering question number 5, it is 30x cube minus 45xy. Moving on the same lines, you can see in 30 and 45, 15 is common. Why? Because 30 is 15 into 2 and 45 is 15 into 3. In x cube and x, x is common. So by taking 15x as the common factor, the remainder in the bracket will be x square minus 3y. In question number 13 and in question number 16, you can move on the same lines and you will get the factorized form of the questions. Dear students, the home task is to complete exercise 6.2 on your assignment sheets. Now moving on to exercise 6.3 with the same concept of taking something common. The question is factorize the following. Look at question number 1. Unlike questions in exercise 6.2, you can see each question of exercise 6.3 is having actually 4 terms. Ax minus by plus bx minus ay. In these questions having 4 terms, you have to remember that you will pair the terms. Pair the terms mean combine 2 terms. Now, what is the method of combining the terms? Look at first 2 terms, ax minus by. Can you get anything common in ax and by? No, you cannot get anything common. So you have to pair like in such a way that you can get something common. So I am combining first and third term, ax plus bx, and second and fourth term, minus by minus ay. Now let's start the process. In the first 2 terms, you can see x is common. Taking x common, you will be left with a plus b inside the bracket. Hope you understand, students. Now, in the last 2 terms, let's have a look. If I take y as common, inside the bracket I will get minus b minus a. But as in the first term, after taking x as a common factor, in the bracket we have a plus b. Therefore, students, you will have to take anything common from last 2 terms such that inside the bracket you will be left with same expression a plus b. I hope I am clear. So, instead of taking y as a common factor, you will take minus y as a common factor. Minus y and minus y. When you take minus y as a common factor, you will get a plus b inside the bracket. Then the expression having 4 terms will be converted to expression having 2 terms. First term is x into a plus b and the second term is y into a plus b. Again, you can see a plus b is common in both the terms by taking a plus b common. In the first term, you will be left with x, negative sign connecting between them, and in the second term you will be left with y. So the complete factorization is a plus b into x minus y. So students, moving on the same lines, have a look at question number 4. X squared plus 5x minus 2x minus 10. You can see in the first 2 terms x is common, and by taking x common from the first 2 terms, you will be left with x plus 5 inside the bracket. And again, you have to be very careful that you take common from last 2 terms in such a way that you will be left x plus 5 in the bracket. Therefore, you will not take 2 as a common factor, but you will take minus 2 as a common factor, so that you will be left with x plus 5. Again, the 4 terms, after taking common, you will convert it into 2 terms, x into x plus 5 minus 2 into x plus 5. And in these 2 terms, when you take this x plus 5 as a common factor, you will be left with x in the first term and minus 2 in the second term. So the complete factorization is x plus 5 into x minus 2. Then, moving on to question number 7, you have 4 terms, y square minus 9y plus 3y minus 27. In the first 2 terms, y is common, and after taking y as a common factor, you will get y minus 9 inside the bracket. Then, you will have to take common from last 2 terms in such a way that you must have y minus 9 inside the bracket like the first term. So 3 will be taken common to get y minus 9. Then, from these 2 terms, y minus 9 will be taken common, and in the first term y is left and in the second term plus 3 is left. So the complete factorization is y minus 9 into y plus 3. In question number 8, students, you are having the expression x square minus 8x minus 4x plus 32. Moving on, x is taking common from the first two terms, and inside the bracket you will be left with x minus 8. Again, when you take 4 common from these two terms, you will have to be careful such that you must get x minus 8 inside the bracket. So, if you take 4 as a common factor, just 4, you will be left with minus x plus 8. But you need x minus 8. What is the meaning of x minus 8? Minus x नहीं चाहिए, x चाहिए. Plus 8 नहीं चाहिए, minus 8 चाहिए. What does it mean? It means the signs are opposite. So you have to take minus 4 as a common factor. When you take minus 4 common from this term, you will be left with x. And when you will take minus 4 from plus 32, you will be left with minus 8. Then, taking x minus 8 as a common factor, the second factor will be x minus 4. Similarly, you can do the remaining questions. And moving on to question number 12, y into y minus a minus b into y minus a. You don't have to pair the terms as you have done in the previous questions, as very much clear you have two terms. In the first term, y minus a, and in the second term, again y minus a are present. So y minus a is common. After taking y minus a as a common factor, in the first term you will be left with y, and in the second term you will be left with minus b. So the complete factorization is y minus a into y minus b. Moving on to question number 13, it is a square into pq minus rs plus b square into pq minus rs. It is very clear that pq minus rs is common in both the terms, and after taking pq minus rx as a common factor, the second factor will be this a square plus this b square. I hope students you understand all the concepts. So the home task is to complete exercises 6.2 and 6.3 on your assignment sheets.